Hello everybody and welcome to Misscliks D&D Seaborn. How are you guys doing this week?
I'm cracking up because I don't know if you guys saw what Misscliks just tweeted, but it said live now with hashtag Seaborn D&D. Attendance is mandible. This is not a clavicle error. Get it? Because skeletons.
I'm not good enough at English to even laugh in the tiniest bit at this.
Mandible is a jawbone, clavicle is your collarbone. So she's making bone jokes because it's a skeleton.
Mm-hmm. Instead of attendance is mandatory, attendance is mandible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
There was a lot of levels of English deep though, Jen. I totally understand.
Like, wait, what?
Who's our tweeter there? Is that
That's Stephanie Powell.
Oh, Stephanie Powell.
Also tweets for Roll20. Stellar social media maven there.
Oh, so how are you guys doing? What's going on?
I am swamped, Neil.
Yeah, it sounds like you're really busy.
We're getting ready for E3.
Big deal.
Excuse me. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And that's exciting. But I'm also flying to Taiwan on Friday.
Ooh.
Host an event for ACES. I get back on Tuesday. I host Roll20Con on... Oh, I film a commercial on Wednesday. I host Roll20Con on Friday. I go back to LA for the 4th and the 5th for one of many reasons that haven't been determined which one yet. I go to the Warcraft premiere on the 6th on Monday and come back. And then E3 is like very soon after that. So we're like super crunching to get all the Twitch programming stuff done for E3. But we have a good start. It's just I was like in super focus mode today. I had to apologize to my coworkers because I was like, anything else you're talking to me about, I cannot even process. I need you to exactly focus on these tasks today.
Yeah.
We got it done. We're going to make E3 awesome. It's going to be crazy.
Cool. Where are you going to watch the Warcraft premiere?
In LA. At the premiere.
Very nice. Do you have some sort of special role there, or are you just watching?
Just going.
Cool.
As a guest of something, which is awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah. What about you, Neil? How are you? What are you up to?
I'm going to be moving up to Northern California on Sunday, and then I won't be moving for a long time. So I'm really excited to be finally in a position where I won't be moving around or changing locations or anything for at least
I didn't know
like
you were
6
moving
to
to
8
Northern
months.
California. That's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Up to Gualala, 3 hours north of San Francisco on the coast, up the one. It's fantastic.
Love it up there.
It's really nice up there. So I'm pretty psyched for that. And I got to play the Total Warhammer today.
Ooh, was it fun?
The jury is still out on that. I would like to give it some more time before I give a proper response. But I am not as thrilled as I was when I first started playing Attila, which is the best Total War game that's ever been made. It's amazing. But that's my life in a nutshell. It's Total War and Dungeons and Dragons.
I haven't played any Overwatch yet because I've been so busy. Not a single game since it came back out. Have you?
Nope, I haven't played it
Anyone?
even when it was in beta.
You haven't played it at all ever?
I haven't even watched a stream of Overwatch. The only Overwatch information is from BlizzCon 2 years ago.
You're so hipster, Neil.
Hipster, behind the times, you know. I think it's old man Neil that's kicking in. My 30th birthday is coming up pretty soon. I'm getting ready for it.
She's back.
Grand Neil!
Oh, Grand Neil was so good.
Aw, good old Grand.
Lovely.
What about you guys? Neil and I have been talking the whole time.
I am in Montreal, so I'm with Jen. No, not exactly with her, but in the
Same plot twist, she's like moving over and she's like
That would blow my mind.
We should have done that, huh?
Oh, you should have come over to like play from here. That would have been sick.
No, I didn't think about it.
I have some beers. And sparkling water if you're not into that.
If you didn't want to come over before, now that you know she has beers and sparkling water.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also have fresh watermelon. I went grocery shopping today, so there's a lot of...
Oh, nice. So today would have been the day to come so I could raid your fridge. Got it.
Yeah.
No.
As the week will go by, it's going to get less and less awesome.
Very
There's
true.
cheese in there right now, like special cheese.
I have lots of cheese right now. I have more
like-
cheese than I know what to do
But
with.
like cheese from like a, how do you call it? Not a cheesemaker, like a, the cheese shop.
Yeah, that I
Like
have some
specialized
from
in
there,
cheese
yeah.
only. That place. I was like, oh, I'll take a little bit of this one and that one.
Yeah.
You Frenchies and your cheese, man.
Man, cheese
Dude, they
is
have
so good.
so much good cheese here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's good cheese.
I agree.
I had the day off today, so I'm pretty zen.
Oh yeah, because it's Queen Victoria
No,
Day.
I took an extra day off to
Oh, that was yesterday.
like,
No, never mind.
be grown up again. So I like bought a table and chairs for my patio and plants.
Nice. And grocery shopping. You're really adulting today.
Adulting.
Yeah, no, I just have like six more things on my to-do list of life, and then I'm good to go for a cat.
Nice.
The cat is the
Everyone's getting
reward.
cats. I
The
want a
cat
cat
is the
so
reward.
bad.
It's like once I've done all the shit on my list of to-do shit.
Then you get a cat.
Yeah,
Cats are awesome.
yeah. But everything on the list besides that sucks.
What about you, Trump? Any cheese or cats?
Looks like you got a haircut.
Oh, yes. Thank you for noticing, Neil.
Wow.
It looks
Back from
fantastic.
Canada, and
It's lovely.
resumed my stream. Everything is good now. Looking forward to commanding all of you today.
We'll see about that.
Is that a new banner you have behind you with a lion on it?
Oh, same old, same old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it does look different. I don't remember seeing that up there before.
Yeah, where's your Trump face banner?
Yeah.
Oh, that's missing.
All right. Well, what happened last week? It was kind of a big week. A little bit.
Yeah. To summarize, we've been looking at this pyramid, which I would call a dungeon for the sake of the game. We heard that there was a magical ship inside it. We were on this island. We want to get off of it. We want to have a ship. Our ship is broken, so we decided we'd go after that ship. There's all sorts of meanies in the dungeon, as can be expected. There was vampiric mist, ice dragons, all sorts of stuff. And took out a lot of our party members. Most of our crew is dead. But we finally got to the boss of the temple, which was this undead skeleton cleric that could communicate telepathically. And it was communicating telepathically with Trellis, who just would not relent in trying to get it to appeal to its humanity, and finally convinced it that actually, instead of killing us, it should join us, and we should sail on its ghost ship with it. And so now, Trump, whose character died, will be taking over the role of that skeleton cleric. And Trump, do you want to announce the name?
Yeah, my name is Temriel.
Temriel. That's a very epic name.
For an epic character.
Okay. Well, I think that wraps it up pretty nicely. So, you guys are in the dungeon, in the temple, and you're just in there. You got Malcolm with you. You've got this undead cleric. What do you do? How do you proceed from here?
Have we become like aware? Because it was Trellis that was talking to the skeleton in her mind. Do we need to go back that far, or are we all up to speed?
I think you guys are caught up to speed. Also, while the undead cleric was communicating with Trellis mind to mind, it can also communicate via voice, but it had more complex thoughts it wished to communicate, which required the use of its spell. So, Trump, you may speak, although you have a ghostly, bone-rattling voice when you do so.
Okay. I am pleased to find that you all have accepted the calling of Tempos. I kind of take a glance at Albert, who has just come in with the other sailor, Malcolm, and you as well, Elf. I assume you are also in this mission, this grand endeavor.
Yes. And who are you?
I am Temriel, your new captain.
You look like a more fearsome captain than the previous one.
I give a dirty look to Dark Albert and just feel like, mm-mm.
And then
That's,
I look at you and I'm like, he's undead.
Quite some insubordination there. Elf, where were you?
Where was I? I was invisible.
You were?
I am a wizard, you see. Or you don't, depending on the occasion.
Yeah, nice of you to show up again, Dark Albert. Haven't seen you in a little bit.
I mean...
Snicker.
I did run out of spell after all the battles we've had, so... There was not much more I can do. You see, the fate of people who attempt to go in close quarter combat while being spellcaster is not always the best.
Oh,
And
sick burn.
I look at the corpse.
Well, to catch you up on the speed of what my character looks like, I am currently just a skeleton, and I hold a very shiny shield emblazoned with Tempos's sigil.
You're not like wearing any cloak or crown or anything like that. It's just a skeleton.
Nope, just a skeleton.
Huh.
I do have a pouch on me.
Are you like glowy, or do you like walk around like a normal human? Like, how does it look when you move?
Yeah, I'm just normal human walking. Haven't done much of it.
So kind of like rattly.
I don't think it rattles much. You don't rattle when you walk.
That's true, but I have like muscles and skin over my bones.
I don't think I rattle more than others.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
What a quiet walk you have.
What if I listen, what if I detect noise? Will I detect the rattling?
What's your detect noise chance?
10%.
You detect no rattling.
Damn. Dark Albert looks disappointed.
Did you say you were carrying a pouch?
Yeah, I have a pouch.
What is it hanging from?
From my waist. From my pelvic bone.
Like a fanny pack?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
So it's like
Skeleton wearing a fanny pack.
yeah.
And holding a very bright shield. It's shiny. Doesn't give off light, but it is shiny.
Man.
Cool.
Which color is your fanny pack?
Brown.
Okay.
So, catch me up to speed. I believe I have been in this temple for quite some time. What year is it?
No, what year is it? Do we know?
1509.
It is the year 1509, Captain.
That is a surprise. The skeleton doesn't show too much emotion, but that means I've been in this temple for 1,500 years. I've been here since 0.
You have been here since the beginning of time?
Since the beginning of the new calendar, yes.
Wow.
Wait, there was an old calendar?
Why, yes, there was. I assume that you wouldn't know much about it.
Well, I did not study that far back. Maybe you can share some of your knowledge with us.
Maybe in another time. Well, if I have been away for so long and awoken now, it must be because Tempos has called for me to right some wrong in the world.
Yes, like the wrong of us being on this island when we should not be.
Agreed.
Well, we certainly will have to get off the island in order to accomplish the grand task that Tempos calls for. So first of all, let me collect.
Did you come here alone?
What was that?
Did you come here alone when you were here 1,500 years ago?
No, I was guarding it with some other priests. However, they have long since perished. I myself am not sure why I am still here. It must be because I have been chosen in order to protect this world. You wouldn't happen to know of any calamities occurring right now, would you?
Well,
I have a
it depends
peacock
on your,
named Bird who is alone and probably starving, left on our island home.
I think he was talking about something more grandiose, more of our scale kind of thing, you know? Like a dragon plaguing an island.
That was happening in the same place.
Well, I mean, we could get your peacock at the same time, but when doing a pitch, Maribel, you need to consider the person you're talking to. If he was a pet lover, maybe you'd have a chance. Wait, are you a pet lover?
Pets are fine companions. However, ultimately, in the grand scale of things, they are meaningless.
I scowl when he says that.
So, let's go back to the red dragon plaguing the island.
Skeleton Captain, can you kill a dragon?
No.
Then for what reason would we go back to it?
Well, dragons, much like anything else, are part of the natural flow of things. If a dragon is around, that is not of a serious concern.
Oh, what about someone who's trying to displace islands? What about that?
That sounds quite unnatural and should be put to a stop.
Well, I know quite the man. His name is... Let me look at my notes there. I opened my grimoire. Because now it's called a grimoire, you know?
A what?
Grimoire. Grimoire.
What's that?
A grimoire?
Yeah.
It's like an old book.
Oh.
It's like creepy.
Today I learned.
Let me see. A book of magic spells and invocation. And it's usually creepy.
Cool. Grimoire.
Yeah. You learned. Wait. What's his name again? Maribello, Ratchek, Phaedron. We're going back to the past. Steve the Slave. No. The Snas, the Kobolds. No. What's the name of the guy? Vesuvius. Your Trumpet, Dogface. You guys remember?
Every name in the game except for the...
Why do I have everything but this? Wyvern Problem. I must be close.
Ooh.
Wyvern Problem, Ice Cap, Barthus?
There we go.
Yeah. I'm like, Barthus! Here you go.
So this Barthus is causing a ruckus. I suppose he should be stopped. I call that as I know where the pit is. I put my head through it to look at if there's anything underneath the pit.
It drops a pretty good distance down into a hole. Maybe 30 feet down.
Anything in the pit?
It's dark. There's no light down there.
You, torchbearer,
Malcolm.
could you shine some light on this pit?
Malcolm walks over, kind of terrified, and lowers his torch through the hole. When you look down now, you see a couple of bodies. One of them on top seems to have a sword grasped in its hand.
Well, one of you may find that useful. And I point with a skeleton finger at the sword.
I would indeed find it useful. However, to be fair, I already have a magical sword, in which case previous captain, Trellis. Would you like to wield it?
I would, if nobody else truly needs it.
I hop across the pit and I make my way over to the place with the table and all its stuff. One moment, I need to gather my other belongings before we set on this trip.
Okay.
So can I take this sword?
Well, it's 30 feet down in a pit. How do you get the sword?
Do we have any rope or anything?
I do.
Okay, we could tie a rope with a little knot in it to pick up, like a little lassie or something like that, and then to grab it out.
We could make 2 ropes and like kind of grab the 2 ends and then pull it back up.
We could do that as well. Do you have enough rope for that?
Let me see. I think I have just 30 feet of rope. No, 50 feet of rope.
So technically you can only do it with 1 then.
I have 50 feet of rope too.
Okay.
So, how are you doing this?
So like we do like a like a little lasso, like a tiny lasso with the 2 ropes, then we descend them at the same time. And we try to like loop them into the ends of the sword to like pull it back up. Like,
Well, how is the sword laying in the pit? Is it?
So there's a few bodies. The one on top has the sword grasped in its now skeletal hand, and the blade is leaning kind of, if this is the wall of the pit, the blade is leaning against the wall, and the base of it is being grabbed by the skeletal hand.
Okay, so the skeletal hand has a pretty good grip on it then?
I mean, it's 30 feet away in a pit. You don't have a very good view of the situation. The hand is at least around it. No idea if it's tight or loose.
could we just rappel someone down to straight up grab it with their hands?
That's true. Could do that. Can pull me down there.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
How much do you weigh, Trellis?
How much do I weigh?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Plus your gear.
Well, you could here. You could disrobe yourself, I think.
True. And get down to my. I'm 135 pounds.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's doable.
Yeah. The 2 other characters could easily hold your weight, and you could rappel down.
Okay.
Up.
All right.
All right, you rappel down there, and at the base, amongst these corpses, is a broadsword with a pommel that looks like it's made of the skull of a shrunken head. It's like a skull about this big around. Makes the pommel. On that, it looks like a very finely crafted steel broadsword.
Okay. I reach down and grab it. I make sure to loosen it from the grasp of the skeleton, and then I pull it back up with me.
Okay. The handle is very cool to the touch.
Okay.
This is a very icy place.
I still grab it. It's cool to touch. It doesn't do anything to me, though.
No, it doesn't hurt you.
Okay, then I grab it, and then I have them pull me back up.
All right. Whole party is gathered together again.
And then I can add this to my stuff. What is it?
It is a broadsword named Broadskull, which I think Jen can tell you because she's already read the book, the journal that describes this weapon.
Yeah, it's called Broadskull. I bet you can do better use than me of it, since I'm not much of a melee fighter.
Okay. How much does it weigh?
I believe it weighs 4 pounds.
Okay.
And then I'm like, I think it weighs about 4 pounds.
Do I need to know any of the stats for it?
Yeah, sure. So its damage is 2d4 / d6 plus 1. So that means 2d4 damage to small and medium creatures, d6 plus 1 against large and bigger creatures.
Okay.
Its range is melee.
So that's just a 10, 20, 30, right?
No, just nothing. No range.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 'cause
Alright.
you can just stab with it. It's not a throwing
Got
weapon.
it. And then to hit, +3.
It should be the same as any of your other weapons.
Okay.
Any of your melee weapons, yeah.
And size, large.
Medium,
Okay.
M.
Okay.
Speed is 4. I'm sorry, speed is 5. Weight is 4. And type is S for slashing.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Messy.
All right. The whole party is gathered still in this crypt. Malcolm is kind of shaking a little bit while he's holding the torchlight and says, "Guys, can we get out of here now? No offense to our new captain, but this place gives me the creeps."
Certainly. You guys wouldn't have happened to have known what's happened to the items in this room, would you? I am off to the side room, off to the hourglass.
We wouldn't happen to have found items, you said?
Yes, those belong to the temple and to me, you see.
I can't remember having picked up any items.
No, I don't believe I've picked up anything either. How about you, Dark Albert?
Let me look through my belongings. I don't recall. I have a shit ton of belongings.
If I recall, Violet, you guys actually split up the stuff, so you do
I
have
think
some of the
we
stuff
did,
in that
yeah.
room. Unless you're just lying.
I grabbed anything, did I? No.
Albert, the way that Albert had it was that he's picked up stuff and then gave it to you guys and Neil said, mark it down as temple stuff.
I do remember temple stuff, but I'm trying to think.
Oh, you're right. I have 2 pounds of weird temple stuff. Okay. I grabbed the stuff out of my bag. Oh, this was handed to me. If this is yours, I apologize. And here you go. And I hand it over to,
Yeah, when she says that, I'm like, oh, yes, that. And I hand it over to.
Are you sure you weren't here to plunder the temple?
I'm sure, but not knowing it belonged to anyone, you cannot blame us for taking resources when we were in a strange place with nowhere to go and nothing to eat.
This is not a strange place. It is obviously a holy site of Tempos.
Well, we definitely didn't know. As I told you earlier, we weren't here to steal anything. Believe me, we wouldn't have gone in here knowing what was to become of us. We had many deaths in here, and we would never have chosen that.
Very well. Neil, do I know anything about the room that sucks things in?
That you haven't seen that room yet as in your current form, but when you were alive, that was just the quarters for all the other priests who live here. And the room that you're currently in now is your bedchamber, of course.
Ah. Well then, let us head out.
Yes, where is this ship that is contained within this temple?
Yeah, I
I
haven't
prop
seen
it up on my shoulder. This box. You see, it's a sacred item, the pride of this temple. It will unfurl into a ship.
Really? I
How
look
big
skeptical.
of a ship? I look curious.
Oh, I will let you see with your own eyes. So come, let us go.
So,
All right, if you say so.
Do we walk? I guess we will walk by the weird glowy room, right? That sucks things in.
Yes.
As we walk through it, I ask, have you explored the entire temple?
Well, I mean, what do you think? We're not here to desecrate. It says not to enter, so we've been respectful. But I mean, maybe it's not something that you set up, so maybe it's someone else who desecrated the room. And maybe we should go in there. I don't know. You're the one with the temple knowledge.
Oh, one moment before. So there was the room to the side. I also look at the other room with the 2 rugs. Does this have any significance to me?
That was the inner sanctum where the prayers that were made that aren't for the public were done. So this is kind of like the private special temple in the back that's not the big public temple. This is your little semi-sacred space.
Since I'm leaving the temple, is there anything in here that I think would help me?
No, nothing left.
Okay. As we pass the door, we should find out what has happened here.
Feel free to lead us in, Captain.
It seems like it may be a little dangerous. I read the message. So what I propose is we tie a rope around this torchbearer. We go up the corridor a bit and have him open the door.
This sounds reasonable to me.
Guys, really?
Do not worry. We will have you in our capable hands. This Minotaur appears to be very strong.
Look, if it reassures you, I will cast a spell of protection on you.
Okay. He looks
And
around.
Then
Remembering again that he's the last of his ship here with all these foreigners.
Do I have a character that I can control here? Yep. On the board?
Oh, on the board. No, I don't have you as a separate skeleton that you can control. Here, let me make one for you.
Okay.
Or let me give you the access to the right guy. You are... Temeril, right?
Tamriel, yes.
Temriel. Okay, there you go. You should be able to move this character.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Do not worry. The blessings of Tempos and this rope will make sure you survive.
And my
Sufficient amount of space away, and then let the torchbearer find out what's on the other side.
Hey, I'll cast my protective spell over you. And then I go ahead and pretend to cast a protective spell, Neil.
Of course. Malcolm is looking really nervous. He doesn't seem to be very excited at all by the prospect of opening this door.
I personally put the rope around him and make sure it's tight as I walk away 50 feet.
That doesn't really help him with the terror and the fear. No.
Do not worry. The blessings of Tempos and this rope will make sure you survive.
And my spell.
And the spell.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, once the whole party is back down the hallway, holding onto the rope, Malcolm approaches
I'm
the
not even
door.
holding on the rope, like.
He gently moves the skeleton from in front of the door and slides it away. And then reaches for the handle, takes a couple of steps back and looks down the hall and goes, Are you guys sure? I mean,
I take the end of the rope and wrap it around my waist like I've got it really solid.
we don't have to go here. We've got the ship. We could just go right now.
It's fine. You are very courageous.
We must find out what happened to the other priests in this temple.
He goes back. You guys lose sight of him when he goes beyond that little corner section of wall right there. But you hear the door, or you hear the handle start to churn, and then a loud slamming sound. And you hear Malcolm give a bit of a cry, and the rope immediately goes taut. And his voice cries back, Pull me out! Pull me out! Oh my god, pull me out!
I start
Before
walking
we
backwards.
pull you out, you must explain what you're seeing.
Get me out of here! Get me out of here! I'll tell you later. Get me out!
I give a nod to the Minotaur.
I start walking backwards.
Okay. Is anyone else helping, or is it just you?
I reach over with Maribel and I help her grab the rope and start pulling it back.
All right.
Same.
I reach behind the skeleton and I'm like barely even touching the rope, but it looks like I'm making a lot of effort.
All right. Eventually, you guys manage to drag Malcolm back around the corner, but there's now a very steady breeze blowing into the temple.
Refreshing.
You drag him out of that area and back down the hallway. He's gone as white as a sheet. His pupils are hugely dilated, and he's sweating.
Oh, please, you have nary an ounce of harm on you. Report what you saw.
There was a kind of a purplish, blackish sphere, or hemisphere, stuck on the middle of the floor. And
Magical.
Just a wind pulling me in, just sucking me in straight towards it.
Are you afraid of the color purple?
No, but I'm afraid of being sucked into a purple dome.
For what reason?
You know what? Let's just leave. You can drop me off at the nearest harbor, and we'll just go our separate ways. I'm done. I consider myself an open-minded person, but purple domes that suck you into God knows where, half minotaurs, undead skeletons, weird elves. He looks to Trellis. Captain, you're the only one here that has any semblance of normalcy. I can't deal with this shit anymore. I just want to go home.
I clear my throat. You are addressing me?
Trellis?
I kind of just set my hand on his shoulder and just say, it won't be forever. You just got to hold out. You've done really well so far. And I just kind of give him a reassuring, like.
I knew we should have gotten rid of this guy much earlier. He has no respect for our captain.
He looks at you, mouth agape, and goes, you little...
Let's just, and I stop him there. No more. You've said what you needed to say.
Report more. Is that... Oh, I go through my memory. Was that room a closed room? Are there any more rooms?
It was an open... I mean, it was a door closed to the public, but it was a sleeping quarters for all the priests that lived here in the temple. So it was just a normal room. What was the other question?
Oh, just, are there any openings through it?
No, that was the end.
The priests of this temple carried magical tools. Could you make sure that there are none left in there?
I'm not going back in.
You saw that with this rope and with this spell and with Tempos' blessing, you will not be harmed. Just take a look.
You go in.
I do not have the rope tied to me. Also, I am lighter.
Oh, here we go. I can untie the rope for myself. He starts to untie it, and we'll just tie it around. He approaches your waist and pulls back a moment. I guess we could just tie it through your hip.
Are you disobeying an order?
I kind of lean over to him and I whisper, this is not going to be the same type of captain as I was. You should listen and keep your head down if you want to survive.
If I go back in there, I'm going to die.
I put my bony hands on this man's shoulder. You are more useful to me alive, so just calm your nerves. And go. Be brave.
Can I go to the bathroom first? I think that kind of scared the shit out of me, literally, and I don't want to keep walking around with such heavy pants.
You know, you could go in there and see if it gets sucked in.
And leave a streak down my leg? No, thank you. Just,
it will only take but a few minutes, I'm sure. Go.
He looks pleadingly at Trellis.
I think I need to go to the restroom as well. I look at him and I give him a terrifying glance.
Nobody's leaving. And I kind of look over at everybody. The last thing we need is you guys running away.
I would never run away.
You can use the bathroom when we get on the ship.
He ties the rope reluctantly around himself again. It gets low to the ground, like on his back, and starts slowly scuttling feet first towards the room. He gets to that corner and starts to scuttle his feet around it. Slips, and the rope goes taut. He gives a bit of a scream and cries, "Ah! No, it's empty! There's nothing in here! It's all empty! It's just a big empty room! Get me out of here! Get me out of here! Please! Please! Help! Help!"
I'm just standing there, like, dispassionately holding the rope around my waist, waiting for someone to tell me what to do.
Like, is it tough to be holding this rope? Like, is it currently, like, a tough feat for all of us together, or is it really easy?
Well, you haven't even tried yet, so you have no idea.
Well, let's say I start pulling a little.
You start pulling a little bit. It seems that it's anchored to Maribel and Trellis pretty well. It seems like the two of them together have it. God knows what happens if one of them lets go.
Are you the type that gets encouraged by baubles? I will give you a few gold if you find anything in there.
No, there's nothing in here. It's literally an empty room. Just get me out of here.
That goes against what you told me a few minutes ago.
There's a fucking sphere in here that's sucking me in. Get me out of here.
Okay. Pull him in.
All right, I start walking backwards.
And then I pull as well.
All right, you guys managed to drag him back from around the corner. His white face is completely ashen and pale. He stays on the ground panting. Just kind of like collapsed there for a minute or two, exhausted from the terror of the endeavor.
Although it does seem that this must be a portal of some kind, we know where we want to go, which is home or out to sea, and this portal does not seem to lead to either of those, at least not with any certainty. As such, I recommend that we leave.
I also he didn't see your friends in there, and I look over to the captain. So I don't think there's any reason for us to stay either.
Captain, do you have any tracking spells?
Not currently.
Could you have some?
I could.
So let's say that we sent an object or a person through this hole. Could you know where it ends up at if you track it?
I could if it does not go too far away. Only less than a mile.
Oh.
If this is a portal, I would suspect I would not be able to track it.
That's too bad. We could have sent someone.
Are you familiar with these portals? Is this a portal?
Neil, would I expect this to be a portal since we've seen quite a few?
This does not match the description of the portals that you found or read about in the book.
Okay.
This is quite a bit larger, with a different coloring, and it seems that this is some sort of void. The other portals don't suck things in; they just exist. This seems to have some sort of attractive force to it.
It does not seem like a portal. I think it's more like a void.
I wonder if we were attacked by a wizard and they threw this destructive orb in here. I'm saddened
But
by the loss of my other priests.
why would it stop there? Why isn't it growing? How is it contained?
I suspect it is a spell which simply stays in place and killed all the other priests in the room.
Maybe it traps things in. Maybe they're not dead.
If they are not dead, it has been a few centuries. I suspect they are dead.
Well, I mean, you aren't dead.
You guys notice Malcolm is crawling in between you guys on the floor now, heading towards the entrance.
If I were captain, I would not let my crew get away like this.
I have no use for a coward. I glare at Albert at the moment. While I say that. Anyways, shall we depart this island?
Yes. As soon as you say that, I turn and start walking out.
Okay. You guys make it back outside. You're still in the swamp. The swamp noises are as loud as ever.
Is Malcolm in sight?
Yes, he is outside talking with Saffron.
Oh, right. Ah, hello there.
Saffron takes one look at you, drops her staff, and runs screaming into the swamp.
Saffron, wait! I'm in a pretty good relationship with her, right?
Sure.
I spent some time talking magic and stuff. So I'll run after her.
You call after her and calm her down and bring her back, explaining to her.
I tell her a little bit. Yeah.
She seems.
I tell her that we will be on a mission with. I'm trying to convince this guy to go after Barthas, and maybe at the same time we can find your old master.
Ah, are you familiar with this Barthas? It appears he is a troublemaker trying to interfere with the natural flow of fate.
Definitely. Bad man. Very bad man.
Well, if you take me to him, we may be able to eliminate this bad man.
He lives in North Eridon. We need a ship. I thought that's why we were here, was to get a ship.
Yes. Praise Tempos for your ship has been delivered. And I point towards the box on my shoulder.
She blinks.
I give a meaningful look like.
She looks to Trellis with like a huh on her face.
We will be traveling with somebody else now. But we have found a way off the ship, off this island, which is the most important thing of all.
Okay.
I like start edging toward the beach. I'm like continuing to walk.
And we're bringing Malcolm?
Yep. So
Interesting.
let's take a look at our island map. You guys are here at the big hill. Where would you like to go? I mean, there's ocean in all directions.
Ah, a map. Very useful. I point towards the little harbor bay thing to the left of us.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like an appropriate place to launch from, unless you have any belongings that you need to gather first.
Actually, you know what? You would have known the entire region here. Temeril. So let's take a look at the greater map. Is that on stream? Perfect. So, Leech Island is where you guys are right now, which is way down here. Can you all see the map?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So this is Leech Island. The only land, really, is to this northeast right here. There's some stuff further south, but it's pretty far, and it's the Gnomish homeland. No one wants to go there. It's a terrible place.
And we definitely don't recognize any of this, right? Like, we're completely unfamiliar with this part of the world.
You don't know where you are yet. Only Trump knows where you are in relation to other things.
Okay.
I know of the layout 1,500 years ago. Were these towns there back then?
Yes, there were. Yes.
Okay. Well then, we should take off from the east side of the island and go towards Talashar, as I know it.
What should we do in a town? Why not sail the seas?
The place where you are referring to seems far away. How far away is it?
North Eridon is the other side of the continent. It's pretty far.
Very far away. I mean, except if we can find some portals that connects us there.
By ship, it would take you a couple of weeks to get there, so not unreasonably far.
How did you make it to this island?
Most likely through a portal, to be honest.
Then shall we simply go through the portal once again?
We could try to find. Do you guys remember where we spawned at?
We can't take a ship through the portal.
Can't?
I mean, if we keep it in that box and weigh it down, perhaps we could take it through a portal.
Oh, it is true that mixing magical elements and spaces inside of portals might not be the best.
Well, I'm just saying that a giant ship that is floating on top of the ocean would not fit through a tiny portal that is in the bottom of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Some have called me overly logical, but I believe this to be true.
That sounds accurate.
Ah, so the portal is on the bottom of this ocean, huh?
Yes, and as I said, if we were to keep the ship in the box and go through the portal, perhaps we could do that, but...
This sounds like a reasonable course of action. If you give me a day to prepare, I can make sure we can breathe underwater and then walk through this portal.
As you wish, Captain.
Okay. So you guys make it to the edge of Leech Island. And hop on your ship. Well, first off, you gotta turn the ship into a ship. Now,
No, we were going to keep the ship in a box to go through the portal.
Oh, but
you have to
get through
turn
the
it into a ship to
portal.
get off the island, right?
Well, I thought we were going to walk under the water to the portal, because I doubt we can put it back in the
Not
box.
far away.
Where's the
Not
portal?
I don't know.
far.
So, what is the plan? Once you get to the east side of the shore of Leech Island, what is the plan?
Well then, give me your information on this portal. Where is it?
I have no way of describing that in real life, but could Maribel point to where they came out of the portal?
You guys just woke up on a beach. You have no idea how you got here.
That's right. Because we sailed, we went through a portal, but then we were sailing and we went into, this shimmering weirdness.
Mm-hmm.
And then we woke up here.
Yeah.
So, portals are not on this island, right?
You have no idea.
Okay. So I explained that then. And I explained to him how we went through a portal and what it looked like, but that we don't know if there's a portal here. And but
Do you remember if you were sailing west or east? Or north or south?
I do not. I also, once again, would suggest, Captain, that seeing as we do not know any locations of these underwater portals, it seems more sensible for us to sail the open seas as we have been trying to do by getting this ship.
Fine. If you have enough supplies to last it sounds like a few weeks journey to this location, then we can just simply sail off.
We would have to collect supplies. As you can see, we are not carrying much.
Well, then I propose that we go into a town and collect some food and water and supplies.
Sounds like a good idea.
Okay. You guys make it to the eastern side of Leech Island. Our Temeril says a short phrase in a language you don't understand, and the box begins to unfold itself until it becomes...
Can I try to pick up on the sentence?
Give me a perception check.
Ah, I have so bad perception. But I will try. Oh, 25.
Very nice. You do indeed pick up on the words.
Nice. Both activated. What's the password, Neil?
Hold on. So the bolt begins to the box begins to unfold itself, kind of platforms kind of unfolding out of nowhere until after a few minutes, it is a 24-foot long, 8-foot wide, 6-foot deep ship. The boat has a deck with a single rowing seat, seats 5 sets of oars, a steering oar, an anchor, a deck cabin, a mast with a square sail, and it can carry about 15 people with ease. The command word I will message to you in private, Jen.
Albert will remember that.
Looks like it's 30 miles away from Tal Ashar. Is that a days of travel?
A single day. Okay.
All right.
All right. So, why don't we take a short break while you guys head to Tal Ashar? And actually, when he says Tal Ashar, you guys would know where that is, and we'll deal with all that on the other side of our break. See you guys in a few minutes. Bye-bye.